Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of P&B Sports Show. I'm your host, Tom, and today we are going to be discussing about something that trended on Tuesday, which was the 11-1 victory with Norway and Moldova. Norway took the lead and it was amazing and it was unprecedented. We actually expected Norway to win, but we didn't expect them to win this way. They even helped Moldova with a goal. So for our analysis, we have John all the way from Edo State, Benin City, a renowned sports analyst and a coach. You know, this guy here is well traveled, he's vast in sports in general. Ero, how are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Tom. Good morning, Tom. I'm very fine today. Thank you. Although the weather in Benin is very cold, but I'm very fine. I hope you're fine too.
Yes, the weather here is cold as well. But if there's one beautiful thing about sports, is that under this cold weather we can still play football. But let's dive straight into the Norway Moldova match. What do you think about that match? Because when I watched it, it was mind blowing. I only watched it because I wanted to see Haaland play, but it was mind blowing, and I saw other players from Scottish leagues and other leagues play as well. So, what is your opinion on the match?
Okay, I think it was a game of one. I would say individual brilliance from the Norway players. They have a number of exceptional players who are doing so well, even in their club side. The likes of Haaland, the likes of Odegaard, the likes of a few of them. They are actually very good. They are actually very good in the club side, and they were a better team than Moldova. They were a better team than Moldova. So although I didn't expect the scoreline to be up to that number, 11 goals in one match. I mean, in the local football that we play and pitch on the roadside here in Benin, it is difficult to score the other team 11 goals. Top of the professional football. Did you not train? Did you not did you not approach the game with a tactic? It's not like you had a red card from the first minute of game that will say, oh, you were down to 10 men. Yeah, but 11 players on the pitch, and you are conceding 11 goals. Nobody does that, man. That's ridiculous. That's really, really ridiculous. I really felt pity for the coaching crew. What explanation do you have to give to such a loss? That was intense bullying from the Norway side. But I give it to them. Like I will always tell you, when you see a team that you can beat them very well.
I actually thought it was a basketball game, because it's only in basketball that we have that we usually have double digits. Yes.
Exactly.
But I don't really know what to say. When it comes to a player like Haaland, do you think that this stamps his name as actually one of the best players in international football? Or like you said that Norway just bullied Moldova, do you think Haaland was the player that bullied Moldova with 5 goals?
I will give it a blend of both. Haaland is a bully, the bully of a striker, not just against Moldova. I've watched him in other games, even in club side. He's a bully. I think his only struggles come when they play the big side, especially the big six. Although he has impressed against some of them, but if you watch him, most of his goals come again. That's a good mentality for me. I won't lie. I can take that. At least if you cannot be on your A game against the big sides, when you see the smaller side, you should show your capacity. Show where you are. Erling Haaland. You see his physicality, his size, his height, his stature, everything already gives up the bully vibe. And then he is a very exceptional player. So Haaland, yes, I was 5 goals against Moldova, did not just stamp his authority in quotes as one of the most lethal strikers in the world. It added to his already existing name and pedigree that we all know Haaland to be. We have seen Haaland score goals, a festival of goals in different games. We have seen him score hat-tricks, we have seen him score 2, we have seen him score 4. So this is just one of those days for him. Yes, I will call it that. He just saw a feast and he decided to eat very well. Yeah.
Okay, talking about 4 goals, we had players like Asgard, who plays in the Scottish Premier League. But people were like, I think he's 23, and people are like, where did this guy come from? All of a sudden, and it's like the 4 goals he scored actually put him on the international radar. What is your opinion on Asgard, and the way he played that game?
Okay. I won't lie. He was very good, because I personally watched the game, but it got to a level that I had to switch the channel, because I mean, this is no longer football. This is a rape case. It's no longer football. There's nothing interesting about it. You can imagine the entire 12 goals of the game coming from one team. That's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. So, but in the case of Asgard, I will give it to him. I am actually happy for him. The game put him on the pedestal. He impressed. I won't lie. He played so well. Scoring 4 goals in a football game is not a joke. There are some players that have never attempted it. So I'll give it to him at 23. I mean, this game and his performance has actually put his name on the blueprints. So going forward, even coaches, his coach and other team players, other countries that they meet, even down to his own Scottish league, they will tend to always be on the lookout for this guy. Yes, there's this guy that scored 4 goals against Moldova, Asgard. Who is he? Let's watch him. Let's see what he has to offer. And if he keeps on with this performance, with this gameplay, before you know, he will be on the world map. And this is just how some players emerge. This is not how some players. You see some players that they just need one good performance against an opposing team, just one good performance, and they are already out there. So I will give it to him. He did well. That was beautiful from him. That was very beautiful. Scoring 4 goals is just a joke. Yeah.
So talking about that, if he continues like this, it's going to put him on the world map. My brother, do you think that they can play like this against teams like Spain, against teams like Germany? Yes, we have Israel, we have some other clubs that they are playing with, and they've beaten, to top their table for the qualifications of the World Cup. But do you think that when it comes to the World Cup proper, that they can deliver on this type of mandate that they've created already? Let me talk like a politician.
Well, sadly, I'm going to tell you this. I don't think they can. If you watch I'm answering based on the kind of countries you mentioned. If you watch the likes of Spain, they can't. You cannot boss. Asgard cannot boss a midfield that Pedri plays in. It's not possible. I don't see that happening.
But you also have Odegaard on this Norway team. So are you saying that Asgard and Odegaard cannot do such?
Against a Zubimendi, a Pedri, and possibly a Merino. It takes 2 to tango, man. This is football. We have to be realistic. You see the likes of let me give you an illustration. You see the likes of Poland that had Lewandowski, that had what's this guy's name? Mandzukic. It's not like they're not a good team, but when they came up against bigger teams, they got missing. The reason is because Lewandowski is not a good player, or Mandzukic at that time was not a good player. But you are just playing a better side who is better all round. Moldova is a small team. The likes of Israel, they are better at throwing bombs than playing football. So when you meet teams that are better at playing football, you cannot. If you watch the way they played Moldova, they cannot do that against some teams. There are some teams you can't do that with.
Okay.
You can't just. Yeah. So while I think that in football anything can happen, I just believe that they cannot replicate this exact dominance against better teams like Spain, Germany, like
Okay, okay. But we talking about Odegaard. I feel at this point in football in general, we have to give him his flowers. We saw his performance. We saw him in the midfield against Moldova. We've seen him against Israel. We've seen him against other countries. And unlike our Nigerian team that is lacking in midfield, um, what do you think about the way Odegaard has been playing so far in the qualifications?
Okay, I'll give it to Odegaard, like you have said, Tom. Odegaard is a very good player to me. I like his style of. Even if I've seen some Arsenal fans that recently they've been having issues with the way he plays, but I still don't see anybody in the Arsenal team that can make him go to the bench. And him at his age exhibiting such leadership role, the charisma, his aura, his charisma, the way he carries himself, the way he leads the team on the pitch. It's I give him credit. Not so many players category can do that. Not so many players can do that. So I give it to him. He scored a goal in that game and he dictated the midfield. This is Odegaard's usual business. It was not a new thing to him. I don't know if you get my point. Yeah. It was something that he would do on a normal day. Even for Arsenal, against big teams, we have seen him do it. Against Manchester United, against Chelsea, against Liverpool, we have seen Odegaard drop this kind of masterclass performances before. So if he can drop them against big teams who have contending midfield, how much more Moldova, who I believe are a team that they just begged them to come and play the match, to come and play football. So that was me being sarcastic, by the way. So I give it to Odegaard, and I think this is just one of the good days for him, and I bet that he's going to keep it up, even going further in the qualifiers and possibly in the World Cup.
Okay. We have teams like Israel. We have teams like Italy, Estonia, Moldova, and a team like Moldova that has 3 points sitting at the bottom. Then Norway is leading with about 6 points sitting on top. That's the second team has 9 points, which is Italy, and Norway has 15. What does this say about the balance of European football? Do you think it is not balanced, or do you think that there's just something special about this Norwegian team?
You see, when some of us talk about football, we like to approach it with antecedents and history. I see this Norway team as the underdogs. Mind you, when the World Cup qualifiers draws were out, one would ordinarily think that Italy would be sitting pretty at the top of the table.
Yes.
And probably by now might have even qualified for the World Cup. But like I will always tell you, like we always say, in football, anything can happen. I strongly believe that football always comes down to who wants it more. Yes, the both team wants it, but who wants it more? You can see the hunger in the Norway players. You can see the drive in them. Italy, I'm sorry to say, is no longer the Italy we used to know. They are no longer the Italy that we know. They are no longer the Italian mafians that we used to know. Italy before now had a blend of experience. As a matter of fact, they can go to a tournament with players who the list of them will be 27, and they will do so well. The likes of Chiellini, they will do so well. They will come up with a big masterclass. But we have seen Italy decline in the last 4 years. We have seen Italy actually decline. We have seen Italy drop some very stinker performances, and it leaves you wondering what exactly is happening. Is it that the country no longer produces good players, or are there not people who are willing to play for the country's flag anymore? So Norway has proven to be a better team. They have proven to be a team that wants it more. And if you check the Norway team, Tom, you see that they have a blend of young players. And I've noticed one thing these days in football: passion has declined. So these young lads always want to perform. They want to give you a reason to believe that they are why they are there. They want to make a statement to the older generation that yes, we are here and we are here to stay.
Okay.
And that's why I will always give it to them. Yeah.
Okay.
So Norway topping the group is simply because they have been the better team. They have been dropping some masterclass, and who knows, they might just run away with the top spot on the group. Yeah.
So, like you rightly mentioned, you've said that Italy lacks experience, and you've also mentioned that it seems like Israel are better at throwing bombs than at playing football these days. But right now we are going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be discussing the manner at which the Bafana or South Africa treated the Super Eagles when they went there to play the second leg of the qualifying match. So sit tight, get your coffee, you can have your popcorn and stretch your legs, because P&B Sports will be right back. Welcome back to P&B Sports Show. I'm still your host, Arakotom, and we still have Ero John all the way from Benin City, Edo State, joining us virtually here in the studio. So, like I said earlier, we have something happened in South Africa when the Nigerians went to play, and Samuel Eto'o has taken a stance and he has said he did not portray a good image of Africa, and he has already called on CAF to talk to have a meeting and to actually talk on this. He said, honestly, I wasn't happy the way and manner the South African treated Nigerian players. That doesn't portray the good image of Africa at all. I was waiting for anyone to initiate a petition against South Africa, and Eto'o would have been the first person to sign it. Same thing I would do if it were here, to be my own country that did such to other African countries. And he went on and on and on. And he also said that in their next meeting that he's going to bring this up. Ero, they made our players sleep in the airport. They didn't give our players a good pitch to play on, like to train on, so we had to train on in car parks. Then when it came to the match proper, we were not given a good pitch to play on. It's like they gave us a rugby pitch to play on. What do you think about this? Is this the way African football should be, or should be portrayed to the world?
Of course, a big no. This is not the way African football should be portrayed to the world map. You see, I keep telling people that in Africa, we are the ones that sell ourselves out to these other people. And when they begin to treat us badly, we begin to cry over spilled milk. You see this action, you can never see it happen in European football. You will never see it happen. They have been playing World Cup qualifiers in Africa, they've been playing in Europe, they've been playing in South America, they've been playing in Asia. Have you ever heard let's not even go to Europe, let's go to South America, who do not have so many very rich countries. Have you heard things like this happen? They don't happen. How on earth? I largely blame this on politics. I feel they politicize this whole thing because Nigeria and South Africa have a history, the whole apartheid thing and all of that. How do you keep a country's national team in the airports to make them to sleep in the airport? I really blame CAF for a lot of things that happen. I blame the governing body sincerely.
But when it comes to CAF, you will take note that the president of CAF right now is from South Africa, and South Africa have a petition. There's a petition against South Africa concerning the player that they fielded, and they have not till now. They have not dropped their 3 points. And if you also notice, South Africa they have one of the highest approved pitches in Africa. Then they fielded this one for a World Cup qualifiers match. This says a lot, And don't you think that they should actually be petitioned?
Of course, at this point, as at now, as at this time that we speak, Tom, I expected that they should have dropped 3 points from them, if possible, a higher level of win, because it was clearly intentional. It was clearly targeted at Nigeria and the Nigerian team. It was, when I saw the pitch that they were going to play the match, I was like, who the hell plays football here? What the heck is this? What kind of a pitch is this? What happened to standard? What happened to, you say, when there are no effective and efficient rules and regulation in a place, things like this tend to happen. When you set down laid rules with concrete sanctions that is followed to the latter, without politicizing it, you will reduce the emergence of these things drastically. Now, this is not the first time something like this is happening in Africa. It says a lot about our mentality. This is football. Football is one thing that unites the world together, that brings enemies together. Football. And then a country is coming to play a qualifier against you in your home country, where you are supposed to be a great host to them, even with the CAF president being a South African. First off, they get to sleep in the airport of all the numerous hotels in South Africa. You don't get to give them a befitting pitch to train. They are training on the car parks. And mind you, Nigeria, we have a host of very good international players. The likes of Victor Osimhen, the likes of Alex Iwobi, who have played in England, in the UK. They've seen the way things are done, and then they are going on to train in car parks. And this is part of the reasons why the likes of Jurgen Klopp at the time, we always tell you that AFCON is not a relevant competition. And then we begin to cry, we are backing, we are shouting, why will he say such? Why will these people say such? It is because of the way we have placed ourselves before them. It is really sad to see that as at this time, nothing has been said about it. I'm very happy that Eto came up. Eto opened up, because everybody was acting blind to the whole situation. Nobody does that. If you even watch the match, the officiating was bad. I don't know whether the referee was not trained. And everything was just off. Every single thing was off. And it's so sad because you don't get, I'm not saying this because I am a Nigerian. You don't get to see Nigeria treat other countries when they come like this. It is bad. We played against Rwanda. We hosted them in one of the best stadiums we have in Nigeria. That is how football should be played. This is a sport. There should be the spirit of sportsmanship. What happened to that spirit? Why are you politicizing a World Cup qualifying game? I think not just CAF, FIFA, who is the organizer of these qualifiers and the World Cup, should look into this matter, sincerely speaking. Because if this is allowed to slide, things like this will happen and keep happening, and it will become a norm.
Okay. But if you take note, you'll notice that more than half of the team, if not 70% of the South African team, actually plays their home-based players. And they are used to pitches like this. So don't you think that them knowing that our players, they come from outside the country, and then if you put the worth of our players together, this is worth more than 300 million euros. But if you add the worth of the entire players together, I'm not sure it's worth more than 27 million euros. So don't you think that this is the reason? They know that this is what they are used to, so they use this to put their best foot forward.
Yes, you are very correct. Like you said, their team houses more of their home-based players, and because they are already used to these things. It's just like when you play football down here. Back then, when you play football, these people come to your vicinity. You're already used to your pitch. You know where the bad spot is. You know where the good spot is. You know how long and how wide your pitch is. You are used to it. But when these people come, they because they are strangers, they are visitors, before they tend to adapt to the way the pitch is, before they get used to it, a lot of damages might have occurred. And that is why I said this is politics at play, in open play. South Africa cannot tell me that was the best pitch they had to play a game against Nigeria, a World Cup qualifier, not a friendly match. They can't tell me that. They can't tell anybody that. So that was preposterous.
Okay, so
it doesn't doesn't tell well.
Okay.
So it was an intentional act that needs to be punished.
Okay. I think a lot of people have the same stance. What I'm talking about the South African team. It seems like Nigeria's hope has been dashed for the World Cup, but I think we still have a match against Benin and Lesotho, and we also wish them good luck. But do you think that this South African team moving forward and going to the World Cup can face countries like Norway? Are you sure that countries like Norway will not do what it did to Moldova, to things like South Africa? And even if our own Nigeria qualifies for the World Cup, don't you think that 11-0 or 11-1 might also be our case?
First off, I sincerely hope and pray that South Africa qualifies and be dealt with mercilessly. I'm speaking as a Nigerian. Yes, it is in fact, it is not part of my daily prayer points that they be embarrassed on the world stage. Secondly, I was telling my friend who we were watching the Nigeria game together with that as a country at this point, I don't even think I'm still praying for us to qualify after that game against South Africa. And he said,
so we don't embarrass ourselves.
We don't go and fool ourselves. It is better that we just lose out now, because I don't understand what we were playing. Shoot and run. What kind of football? Who plays football like that? With the caliber of players that we have, are playing shoot and run. Nobody does that, man, in this present age and time.
Okay.
There are 1,000,001 tactics that can be deployed. So we are not ready. Even if we eventually, by a miracle, happen to qualify, I don't think we will go past the group stage.
Okay.
We're not ready.
Yes.
Our coach seems to be confused tactically. So we are not ready as a country yet to clear the World Cup. So that what happened to Moldova will not be our story. But I don't think anybody can beat us 11. We are not so much of morons in quotes.
Okay. No problem. Well, thank you so much, Ero, for coming on our show. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. Today you've made me laugh. It seems like we came for a comedy skit and not a sports show today.
Thank you very much.
From your first statement about Israel being better at spraying bombs, you made me laugh. Thank you so much, Ero John, for always honoring our invitation. Well, we've come to the end of P&B Sports Show, and we've spoken about the Super Eagles, the way they were treated, and we've also spoken about the 11-1 victory of Norway against Moldova. So I remain your host, Aro Kotom, and until next time, have a blessed day.